Hello everybody, Coach Kyle Evans here. I'm here to deliver to you a new message, and this message is going to be about time. Time. Just so you know, I do have a giant sheet of notes here, so in case you don't see me looking directly at you, I just want to make sure I deliver a clear, articulate message to you. So if you see me looking down, it's for my refreshers. Okay? Time. I like to start this off because there's a funny thing that happened to me when I was trying to post this earlier tonight. I was really inconvenienced with my time in that I had recorded this whole thing and then it failed to upload and it did not save as well. And I, through this course in coaching and learning and improving, I needed to use better language to describe my situation than really frustrating. So I text somebody and I said that it was more than slightly inconvenienced by taking and carving the time out to post this video for you guys, and then as you can see down below how long it is, to have it just disappear. But I learned from it, downloaded a new app to record the videos, so hopefully everything will be much better. Now, getting into this, I said it's going to be about time. It's going to be a two-parter, so you're going to pay attention today, because, as always, what I have to say is going to be life-changing for you, at least in the moment, and I'm sure everybody wants more time. So today, it's going to be mostly about figuring out what you're doing with your time, and where that extra time that you think that doesn't exist is, and then tomorrow, will be a video on how to take the new time that you've discovered based off of today's homework and how you utilize it to be more effective with the things that you do want to do. So first things first is that I need to let everybody know one little secret. You know how everybody feels that there's no equals on the planet? Some people were born into privilege, some people were born with this or born with that, or I was born without everything. There's one consistent thing that is consistent with every human being on the world, and that is that we were all born and we are all given every single day when you wake up the same amount of time every day. Starts over at midnight, goes to midnight the next day. There's 24 hours in a day. We all get the same amount of time, equal amount. So nobody's given more than you, nobody uses more than you, nobody's given less than you, nobody uses their time more than you. You all got the same amount of time, but every day we say to ourselves things like, I don't have the time, or there's not enough time, or if I had the time, or I need more time, or I'm running out of time. And then you got all the songs like, if I could turn back time, or the movies like, we gotta go back in time, jump in gigawatts. So all of these things happen, and then we try to say, we'll make more time. You're going to make more time? Then you're a millionaire already, because if you can make more time, you can make more than 24 hours a day, you can make more than 168 hours a week, you got it, alright? So, if you don't, because nobody does, it hasn't come out yet, you can't make more time. And so saying, I'm going to do something after dinner, or after this show, or after my kids are grown and gone, after I pay off my debt, after the weekend, or my personal favorite, after this nap. That's my favorite. I like to make time after the nap. Alright? What are all these things that we say to ourselves every day? They're not legitimate reasons to not have time. They're kind of like excuses. But you want to know what the real reason that these supposed excuses exist and what is actually happening? Do you have the time right now to listen and learn and change your life right now? Because that's what I'm going to do and say, to give you more time to utilize your time to hear this all the way to the end. You will have more time immediately. And you must understand that the reason you feel like you don't have the time now, it's not because your job is too demanding. It's not because, your kids exhaust you. It's not because, the plumbing backed up and it took time out of this and time out of that and then you're left with no time. It's because of one thing and one thing only. Your decisions. That's it. Decisions. The word decision or decide literally means to cut off. So you have choices. You can do this, you can do that, you can do this, you can do that. And you decide on one of them, meaning you cut off all other possibilities. And you decide on this one thing. Unfortunately, there is a blinding factor here that keeps us all making the same useless decisions or time-wasting decisions over and over. And that's your focus. We've blinded ourselves from these possibilities of having more time by focusing on how little time we have. There's an example of the story you say you probably experienced before, or you've been that person. It's good for one person, or entertaining for one person, not so entertaining for the other. For instance, let's say I say, hey, can you go grab the salt from the kitchen? And this isn't your house. You say, well, I don't know where the salt is. I can't find the salt. Okay, well, go in the kitchen. It's in the cupboard. You go and you start opening cupboards. You don't see the salt. Then you say, I don't see the salt. All right, it's in the cupboard next to the microwave. You open up that. I don't see it. I can't see it. I can't find the salt. I can't find the salt. All right. Then you say it's on the bottom shelf. And you look around and you're trying to search everything. You don't find it. The guy finally comes in and goes right in front of your eyes, picks up the salt. Salt. How did you not see that? If it was a snake, it would have bit you. Well, it's that blinding factor of focus. You didn't think you knew where it was. You said you didn't know where it was. You proclaimed, I can't find it. I don't know where it is. That same blinding factor, which is called scotoma, it's a legitimate form of blindness, like a blind spot is called scotoma. But in psychology, they use it a lot to say when you proclaim something that I can't do this, I can't do that, that's literally what you block yourself off from seeing. We do that all the time with time. We do that all the time with time. So when you think you don't have time, and you say, I don't have the time, you completely block yourself off from seeing all the areas in life that you really do have time. That's what keeps those phrases, the things that we say, keep our focus on not saying all the time that we really have, that we choose to waste instead. I noticed, personally, that I was doing this for the last few weeks, actually. I was cutting off all possibility of using my time wisely and using it for things that didn't serve me. Things like I could go out for dinner and drinks, or I could go out to lunch, or I could watch TV, or I could sleep in, or I could play poker, or I could text, or I could, everybody's favorite time waster, I could Facebook. My favorite one, though, was, I think I'm going to nap. Who doesn't love naps? I love sleep. I could have majored in sleep. If I told you today, right now, that you could have 20 hours a week of time to do the things that you really like, would you really believe me? Because I'm going to say on average, most people do have at least 20 hours of time that they could use to do the things that they want, to do the things that will make them happy, things they're passionate about. I started to log my time because I didn't think that I had that. I gave the same excuses you're probably giving me right now, like 20 hours, that's a lot. What am I going to do? Stop sleeping? All right? You don't need 8 hours of sleep. Did you know some of the most successful people in the world go on 2 to 4, maybe 5 hours of sleep? Nikola Tesla used about 2 hours sleep. Donald Trump sleeps 3 to 4 hours. Edison used to sleep 3 hours. Margaret Thatcher, the Prime Minister, slept 4 hours. And Winston Churchill was rumored to have slept in 2-hour naps. Just whenever he felt like it, he'd take a 2-hour nap. And based off of the way he worked that out, they used to say he used to be able to do 1.5 days of work in 24 hours. So if you think you need 8 hours of sleep, you're crazy. I used to think the same thing, and I'll get to that a little bit at the end and how I changed that. So I started logging my hours, and I realized that I was simply wasting 10 to 20% of my week-long worth of hours, the 168 hours, doing things that I categorized as wasteful, which were TV, Facebook, game, sitting, playing. Now, I'm not saying that you should take all of the fun out of your life and just do all the things work, work, work. All right? Because one of the biggest myths on the earth is that time is money. Well, if you only got 24 hours, how do you make more money if you working it on time? You have to have more time in order to make more money. Or you got to never stop working to make more money. So I think people should really stop charging by the hour and charging for what you're worth, because you only have a certain amount of time. Don't spend it all trying to make money. Well, 10 to 20% is 16 to 34 hours in a week. 10 to 20%. Just the time that you use is 16 to 34 hours. So I found it. I found the secret recipe where how you mix and make more time. Are you ready? It's two things. Number one, your decisions. What you choose to cut off and cut out, and what your focus is. Alright? You mix equally, stir it up. Let me flip my note sheet. And you'll have all the servings of delicious time that you want. Now, make sure you have the right brand of focus and decisions, because if you don't, you'll get that time that doesn't serve you. Right? If you get the junk brand, you're going to get a junk serving of time. It's probably what you've been getting, and that's why you're going to listen to me. Alright, so what I want you to do is take inventory of how you've been spending your time. Empty out that cupboard of all of your junk food and get rid of it. Get rid of the things that don't serve you. Facebook, games, sleeping. Sleeping. I recommend a very good book. It helped me out. I used to say that I'm not a morning person. I'm more of a night owl. I can't get up early in the morning. When the fact is, I definitely got up early in the morning for golf. I didn't have a problem because I was passionate about going and doing it. Well, I read this book. It's called The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. I definitely recommend reading it. Miracle Morning. Simple read, basic stuff, but it puts things in place to get you to set proper intentions and wake up. I now wake up before 7 o'clock or at 7 o'clock every day, even without an alarm, which was unheard of. I used to sleep till noon on weekends. There's a giant waste of time. Okay? So take that mental inventory. Just like if you started a diet, you would not keep your gummy bears and your Kit Kats and all that junk in your mental cupboard or in your physical cupboard, because you want to set yourself up for success. So go dump it all in the trash. Go ahead and get rid of it. Keep your cabinets full of things that will serve you. And that's going to be your mental cabinet of how you're spending your time. So your homework for today, before part 2 tomorrow, is to look back at as far back as you can remember. Yesterday, the day before that, however many days you can remember exactly what you did, and do an estimate of the hours that you spent doing things. How many hours did you spend sleeping yesterday? How many hours did you spend on Facebook? What did you do on your lunch break? How many hours did you spend playing games? How many hours did you spend cleaning? And kind of do an assessment. See what I did. I spent a majority of my time sleeping. I spent over 37% of my time over 4 weeks when I did my test sleeping. And I spent the next closest thing was wasting time. And that was about besides work, next closest thing was about 18% of my time was spent wasting it on things that didn't serve me. So go back, do an estimate. If you want, start right now. Start right now until you watch tomorrow's video, or you watch the video whenever you're watching this. Do a day, do a weekend. Start keeping a log. See where you're spending your time, because you can't fix something unless you know why it's not working. If you don't, if you don't know why it's not working right, how can you change it? So go back first, take your inventory where you're spending your time, and see where you have the time to make now that your focus is switched, that you do have free time, you're just using it unwisely. And then tomorrow I'll give you your new recipe on how to successfully plan and utilize all this free time that you're going to finally be focused and aware of that you weren't aware of before. It's like the new car effect. When you get a new Toyota Corolla, all of a sudden you see Toyota Corollas all over the place. Right? They didn't just unload a brand new shipment when you got your car. It's the first shipment in your area. No, they're around everywhere, but your focus Your focus sees it. Your focus goes where energy flows. Wherever focus goes, energy flows. So you're going to start focusing on areas where you can take that wasteful time and turn it into time where you can do the things that you want to do. So tomorrow I'll give you that plan on how to successfully utilize that. So right now, go, start creating your list, mental checklist, write down, log, and see where you're wasting time. And check back tomorrow, and we'll give you a better plan on how to utilize that free time so you don't get back in that old habit of watching TV, playing Facebook. Okay? Thank you for listening. Sorry for the long post. That's why there's a part 2 tomorrow. As always, if you need any coaching, I'm here. Free discovery session, 30 minutes for every new client. Please share, please like, please comment, and as always, live and love consciously. Thank you.